Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at CQT. I do want to say that I'm not a financial advisor. You should do your own research before investing money into crypto. If you haven't seen the previous update, make sure to watch that before watching this one so that you have more context. The last update, I think, was on November 2nd, 2022, of course. Now, let's jump straight into the charts. Of course, we have our Fibonacci retracement on the chart here, and if you don't know how to use the Fibonacci retracement, then make sure to go into the description. There's going to be a link to my video where I explain how I use the Fibonacci retracement to be ready for support and resistance levels. Now, if you know how to use that, let's continue here. So we have our swing high in August of 2021, and we have our swing low in July of 2021. Our 1.618 target was all the way down here at 0.0966 cents. We had a beautiful bounce in June, nice double bottom pattern, but then we failed, and obviously in July we had this large capitulation all the way down to the second fib level, which is your capitulation target at 0.0465, and I had this Fibonacci retracement way before we went down and retested these levels. And let's just zoom in a little bit more here and see what's going on. So November 2nd was basically the exact same price that we're sitting on right now. Yeah, so literally the exact same price. We did have a move to the upside, although on November 3rd and 5th, we retested the 1.414 Fibonacci retracement level, which I did give you as a potential take profit. And from there, we had a nice capitulation all the way down to 0.066 cents. And that was a nice 53% pullback. So this was a nice swing trading opportunity. You did get a bit overextended from the 20 EMA, so this was a pretty good trading spot for you. Now, taking a look at this ascending support trend line that we have, if I bring out a channel pattern and I do something like this, as you can see, we are constantly retesting this support pattern or support channel, and we're having a move to the upside every single time we do that. Here we did have a little wick below that. Let me just try to fix this. Such, well, we can have it. Yeah, that's fine. And what we're doing right now, based on the fib, is we're holding above the 1.618 at 0.0966. But I do have to tell you that for now, CQT is looking healthier than a lot of the altcoins in the space, simply because of the fact that we haven't lost our August 2022 low. As you can see, we're above that, and actually from this low, we're up 113%, and that can only be said about projects like Cosmos, Polygon, and maybe a few others that have appreciated since that summer of 2022 low. And a lot of projects have actually gone down 50% from the August low. So CQT is performing very well. I would keep an eye on this support channel. And if we lose that, well, that's going to be not very good. And in that case, I would expect a pullback, potentially retesting this zone here, this support block. Let me just increase that. There we go. So this area here is what we could retest if we have another move to the downside from where we are right now. That would be a 33% pullback. Now, bear in mind, if Bitcoin decides to drop down to $12,000 to $10,000, altcoins will have massive dips. They will get absolutely destroyed, and things like these will be on every single chart. And you can have the exact same thing here with a pretty quick recovery a couple of days later, and you're already up 50%. So that's exactly what could happen when a black swan event occurs. So be ready for that with some spare cash on the sidelines. But for now, we're holding the 1.618. It's looking good. And judging on history, you can see that every time you touch this support channel, you have a move to the upside. So maybe we do have a little move to the upside here, and we potentially retest the swing high that we printed here at the beginning of the start of January at actually almost 12 cents. So maybe that is going to be retested. But as you can see, a lot of selling pressure above us since we're getting a lot of these large wicks to the upside. So people are selling in this area. The selling pressure is way too strong for now. So what we can do is we can add this resistance block based off of the wicks and the body candles that we printed here at the start of December. And yeah, right now, as you can see, we're being squeezed in between this support channel and the resistance block above us. So we're kind of getting squeezed up in this rising wedge, you could say, if you pay attention and you look at this, right? This potentially could be a rising wedge here, and in that case, we could see a capitulation all the way down to the 1.618 or even lower to retest 0.0885, which is the December low here that we printed on December 17th and 16th. Okay, so that covers that. In terms of resistance levels after this block, obviously the 1.414 is still something that you can target, but be careful selling too early because we need overextensions like these to swing trade. Because if you want to sell once the asset is bouncing off the 20 EMA, well, that's not really smart because there's a good chance you're going to have a move to the upside. And you really want to be selling at the top where you sell and soon after the project or the price starts coming back down. That's the perfect scenario, obviously. And if we start zooming out and we take a look at some other Fibonacci retracement levels we have. So a pretty strong level here that we retested was this swing low that we printed in May of 2022. If you can see that this, oh, sorry, that wasn't supposed to happen. So as you can see, this low that we printed here is exactly what we retested here in November as a resistance. So we printed this low, we capitulated below, and then we came back up and we retested the exact same level as resistance, and we came back down. So technically, we're just bouncing and retesting previous support levels as resistance. But if we manage to start breaking through and above the 1.414, I would be looking at the 1.272 Fibonacci retracement level at 18.5 cents as your potential target short term. And of course, if you're entering for a quick little trade here, you could take a look at entering potentially. Right now, we're off of the 1.618 with a potential move all the way up to that resistance block. That's a potential 20% trade because you've been rejected from that area multiple times here. So, but obviously, you know the risks. You know that Bitcoin can dump any second. So that's why I'm not swing trading right now, but I'm just waiting to see what the markets do. Taking a look at the daily RSI, let's see what is going on here. And look at this. This actually played out perfectly. Look at the resistance line I gave you on November 2nd. We had this, actually, I think this was on the charts even before that. So we had this resistance trend line that we retested in April, in July 2022. 2 retests of support, another retest of resistance at the end of November, and another retest of resistance at the end of December. And as you can see, these were good points to take some profits. And if I take this trend line and drag it up there, as you can see, we do have bounces from the support Y trend line. So these support and resistance trend lines that I gave you in the past update have been holding up very nicely, and you could have had nice trades every time we had a bounce from this support trend line. Now, we are approaching the apex of the pattern, so a move will have to be created, or a move is coming, whether that's a break to the downside or a breakout. No one knows, but you should be ready for both scenarios. And I would say the likely scenario is a break to the downside, potentially a capitulation taking us down to these lows here, retesting the lows of August and September 2022. But for now, the RSI is seemingly losing the support trend line, but as you can see, that was the case for the past couple of times. We had a little fake out below the trend line, and then we had a move to the upside. So if we have a move to the upside from here and you have some tokens, maybe taking some profits at this level and buying back once you retrace is a good swing trade opportunity. But again, I wouldn't be doing that myself. So yeah, if you don't care about holding the tokens long term, sure, you can go for that. But if you're holding long term, there's really no point in risking your tokens for 20 bucks of profit, technically speaking. So that is pretty much everything I wanted to say about CQT. Like I said, the chart is looking pretty good in comparison to all the other altcoins. If you think that I missed out anything important on the charts, please let me know down below in the comment section. Feel free to follow me on Twitter. Check out my Patreon. All the links are down below in the description. I'm going to see you in the next one. Goodbye and good night.